Dear Faiz, are you there?
Yes, sir.
We can start.
Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you to another session of our industry-oriented training on Python programming for AI and data analytics. Over the past several sessions, we have built a strong foundation in Python programming by exploring its core concepts and data structures. Today, we take an important step towards the world of data science by beginning our journey with one of Python's most powerful libraries, NumPy. Today's lecture will focus on NumPy, with a focus on arrays, their advantages over Python lists, and their role in numerical computing. As datasets grow larger and computations become more complex, efficient data handling becomes essential. Understanding this is a significant milestone in your learning journey, as many popular libraries such as Pandas, Skitlearn, TensorFlow, and PyTorch are built upon its powerful array processing capabilities. The concepts you learn today will serve as a foundation for many of the advanced topics that will follow in AI and data analytics. I encourage everyone to code along with the demonstrations, experiment with the array operations, and actively participate throughout the session. And now it is my pleasure to welcome our esteemed mentor and speaker, Dr. Meher Chand, Associate Professor at Farid College of Engineering and Technology, Bathinda. Through his expertise in AI, machine learning, and computational sciences, he continues to guide learners with practical insights over an industry-oriented approach to technology. With great pleasure, I invite Dr. Meher Chand to kindly lead us into today's session. Over to you, sir.
Uh, Thanks, dear Faiz, for the introduction. And good evening, all of the participants. There was a query from some of the participants related to the recordings. Actually, there was some problem with the Zoom meeting. So some of the lectures we were not able to record, and sessions was held by using Gmeet. Okay, so this was the challenge. Now all the things are fine. Okay, so some of the missing lectures I have started to record. And now we have 12 lectures are there on the playlist. You can find there. Okay, and some of them which are missing will be available by tomorrow. So all the missing lectures will be in the list. Okay, so today is the 18th lecture of our ongoing industrial training program. Now I would like to share my screen. Before that, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Any more question? Okay. So I can share my screen. This is my screen, and I think I have to start the Anaconda also. Yeah. So I think all the participants now are familiar with the Anaconda and the Jupyter Notebook. There is no challenge to anyone. Okay, my Anaconda is opening. Yeah, it will take few seconds. Okay. Then after we will start. So yesterday we talked about NumPy libraries we are going to cover, okay, in the coming sessions. NumPy is we covered is library based on the numbers. Okay, numbers plus Python we have NumPy. Okay. So NumPy play very important. There are so many applications of NumPy, generate arrays, vectors, line space, and all type of the operations, mathematical operations are there inside NumPy, which we can easily use them. Okay, so now you can see this is my Anaconda interface, and from this place we can launch this Jupyter notebook. Jupyter notebook, okay. Yes. Okay, I will take new file, and the new file we can generate from by using this icon. Okay. So if I ask from you, what is the list? Anyone please? We can rename from this place. Okay. So this is the we have a list operation.
Welcome.
Some of them we have covered yesterday, but today also we have some more advanced uh, uh, features, as well as we are using some more, just like by using input functions. Okay. Mainly we are covering in this session indexing, slicing, reshaping, and broadcasting. Maybe some of them we have covered yesterday, but here also. Actually, this topic was specifically designed for these operations, specifically for array operations. Okay. So for that, we have to use the library NumPy. So we are required to import here NumPy library import. NumPy is NP. Okay. Control and enter. Yes, this library has been imported, and after that we will start to use. Here, suppose that n is equal to, I am taking integer by using input function. Okay, here I am taking input function. Okay, then we are asked here to input the number or enter the number. Okay, enter the number of element. Okay, number of elements. Then, okay, and after that, we have enter, and array will be generated. So this is the variable variable name. Okay, np dot array. So this is the way how we can generate the array. But here we are using, as you know, input function. Okay, so we have to map here. So for that, here is integer. Then we have input. Okay, and then after we have for underscore in range n. Okay, range n. Then print array. Print array. So if I will execute this statement, control and enter. So here we have to enter number of the list. So, just like I have 12, then don't use comma. We are required here space. 23, 13, 14, 15, again 14, 16, 79, 48, any number we can enter altogether by using space. Then I will enter. Okay, here is some error. Here is some error. Error is invalid literal in the int with base 10. Okay. Where is the problem? In the verify int integer, then we have colon. Okay, this is fine. And here is array is equal to np dot. It is also fine. Okay. Invalid literal for int function. Then we have the input. That is okay. Control and enter. If I am entering here 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 5. Okay, there is error in our function. Enter the number of elements. This is fine. And is equal to int. So hash just 1 minute please. Control and enter. It is okay. Statement is correct, but just a minute, I'm checking again. 1 space 2 space 3 and space 4.
So it should be a single integer value.
Pardon?
It should be a single integer value. N is actually the total
No,
number
we
of
can enter
elements.
multiple values also. Oh, okay, okay. Enter the number. Control and if I'm using like in this way, no. Array and we dot array int input bar no input bar in range. This is also okay. Where is the problem? This is fine. We have closed the bracket in input, which we will give the input. Once again, if I give the 12, space 2,
So maybe input is a function, no? So you have to put the parenthesis over there just after input.
no ma'am, code is fine. Int, okay, this is fine. Input function is also fine.
No,
First
no,
line, there
in the
is no
second
problem.
line, in the second line.
In the second line, we
Array
have
int,
also
then
int,
within
then
that
we have
inside you have written input. Input is a function. So it should have an empty parenthesis after that.
oh yes, yes, this place, yeah, this part, yeah, this one. Now I think it will be fine. Yeah, now it is fine. Okay. Now it is fine. Control and enter. Here I enter the number of element 12. So I have to put here 12 values. Okay. Because we use here input function. So when this 12 value will be completed, only then. Yeah. Okay. So here we enter the value. Number of elements are 12. Okay. So when we will enter here 12 values, after that, this will generate the list. So in this way, we can use. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for spotting. Actually, this was the input was the function. Okay, so this parenthesis was missing. So you can see in this way, we can generate the list. Now, in the next example, we can assess how we can assess the element. Okay, so here I will take new shell and array is equal to we can have np dot array. Then we have the list. So this function I think we have used earlier. Map function we are using. Then we have int comma input. And then dot separate. Separate is also one of the function. Then print array, and this is the index. Okay. So when I will execute control and enter. So here we will enter the value for history. Suppose that I am using here 12, these three value, and when I will enter. So this is an array, and zero index we are using here. Okay, at the zero index we have 12. You can see, so 12 will be assessed at the base. So you can have any number of the element in array, and by using this index, we can assess any element from array. Okay, and also this is the type of the operation we have used earlier or in the yesterday's session. The same is here, but we are using this statement. Okay, simply if you have the array, just like you can store like yesterday as we were using by array a is equal to, simply if you are entering the values 12, then we have comma and so on. Okay, so this is the list, and then you can access the element by using this bracket, control and enter. Okay, so if you are using here text, 6 not possible because we have only 4 element. So the index for last one we have is 3. So we can use here 3 only. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3 are the index for these numbers. So 0 is used for first element, and then if you want to check the last element, and for the last element by using the statement we will use -1. Okay, so if you are using here -1, this will check the last element. Control and enter. We will give some values here. Control and enter. So -1, this is the last element. So in the array, the index is starting from, if you are starting from beginning, so index will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. But if you are using from the last, so first element from last we have is -1, then -2, -3 and so on. So user index, if you want to use, we can do here, just like I am taking a address space new shell. This is a user index. Okay. Array is equal to, I am taking np dot array. Okay. I can copy this one. Then I is equal to int input. Okay. Then print index is I. I we are using for index. Okay. So if I will execute this statement, and here we are entering some value by using mapping, and all the values will be integer. 12, then 23, 45, 78. Okay. So then enter. So here I is input. Okay. So if I am using here 2 and enter. So the second element automatically assessed from this place. So according to I is the input for index only. Okay. So we can use index from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the range for index for this array we have is 0 to 5. And we can assess by using this I input. Okay. So this is also another example. And sometimes if you want to assess first 5 element. Okay. So this is the example how you can do. If we want to assess first 5 example. So this part I can use again. I'm copying this part. First 5 element. Okay. For that we have very simple function print. Okay. This is variable is array. And then if you want to assess first 5 element, then use colon and 5. Colon and 5, control and enter. So if I am using here 12, 13, then I have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. These elements are there. Enter. So only the first 5 elements you can see here. By using this one, the element will start from first. Okay. So all the first element will be assessed by using this operation, as you can see. So whatever you have the error array, but if you want to assess the particular first 5 or any other value, just like if I am manipulate this value, first 3 only. Okay. Control and enter. Again, I have to use here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and enter. So first 3 elements are there. So in this way, we can use this one. So these are the slicing. And if you need the last 3 element, then how we can do for the last 3 element? How we can do? See, first last 3 or last 2 element, we can manipulate them. Okay. Last 3 element. So for the last 3 element, you will use here, change this one. This will be -3 and then colon. Okay. So this will assess last 3 element, control and N. I am using here the element 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Enter. So here you can see by using this operation, we can access last three element. You can see here 16, 17, 18. If you are using -5, okay, control and enter. 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5 and space 6, 7, 8. Oh, you can see there are 5 elements from last. So from last, whenever you need, you will use the negative sign, and from the beginning we will use positive integer. Okay, but colon will be in the beginning if you are assessing the element from 0 index, and if you want to assess the element from last element, then -5 and colon sign. So this is the difference between these two operations, whether you are assessing the first element or from the last elements. According to that, we can manipulate all these values. So this was the example, last three element. Okay, so last three element I have corrected. 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5. Got the idea how we can use this operation? Simple but important. One more interesting example we can have. See, if we apply this operation, new shell we have to taken, and this is this vector we are using here. Okay, and print function. Then here we have is array. Okay, here we are using double colon sign. Okay, what is the use of double colon? See, control and enter. Suppose that I am taking here 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Enter. Okay, what do you see? So first element is there, one element skipped, then next element. Okay, 14. One element skipped, then next element 16. One element skipped, then next element we have. Okay, so when you will use here 2, so one value will be skipped in each step. Okay, if we are using here 3, then control and enter. We can take the values, simple value, 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 up to 9. Control enter only. Okay, only 1, 4, 5. Here 2 values are skipped. After 1, we have 4. These 2 values are skipped. Then after 4, these 2 values are skipped. 7. And then after, these are 2 values only. So these are not appear in this array. So in this way, if you want to apply step size, you want to assess the values according to the step size, we can manipulate. Okay, so this is the alternate operation. But depend upon how many values you want to skip. Okay, this is alternate operation. But alternative we have only one value will be skipped. Okay, but you can use for 2 values, for 3 values, for 5 values. Just you are required to manipulate this value. Then we have one more, reverse order. Sometimes if we have the array and you want to write in the reverse order, how we can do? Very simple. So here, the operation which we want to use here is for reverse order. Okay, I am using the same statement, copy and paste here. Okay, then after print, and here I have is array. Okay, I will use double colon, but -1, but -1. So this will convert in reverse order. Control and enter. I am taking consecutive values from the integer 1, sorry, 1 space 2 space 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, enter. So you can see the values which I enter at a space are 1 to 9, and according to this operation all the values are in reverse order, 9 to 1. Okay, so in this way we can manipulate, we can use this function. Sometimes if we are required to replace the element, okay, sometimes we are required to replace the element. How we can do? Just like we have, you got the idea to apply this example? Any question, please? Any question in this example? How we can replace the element? Replace element. Okay. I'm using again this same statement. I'm copying from this place and pasting. Okay. Then suppose I have I is one input as integer. Okay. Then v is equal to int input. Okay. Then a r, and here we will use the index I. Index I is equal to I have is v. Then print. Then print array. Control and enter. Okay. So it is asking about we are putting here 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, these values we have. Okay, again it is asking these are the values of I. Then I'm using here 2. Okay, then 5. So here when I use here 2 is the index. Okay, for this one. Okay, so when I enter the value 2, okay, so this is the index, and when I second time enter here, so this is the way how we can change the value. Okay, from array, this is the operation man by using the same to update the value. If directly I put here the value 5, so I index automatically, which I will give the input here, update here. Okay, so what happened at the space? First, I am using the index at the space. Okay, this value 2, which you can see, this is the index 2. Index 2 means this third value. This third value. Okay, second time when I will put here the value of v. Okay, that is this one. Okay, so this this element having the index 2 will be now replaced by V, and the value of V we have is 5. You can see here the value is now 5. You got the idea how we can update by using input function. Any doubt in this statement, in this operation? Is it clear? Okay, no question. If there is any question, you can put in the chat box also, and also you are permitted to unmute your mic. You can ask any question during the session. Okay. Now, how we can have the 2D array? Okay. So here is the example 2D array. So R is equal to R is the number of rows. Okay. By using input. And then C is equal to, these are the column, int input. Okay, then we can have the data, and data will be equal to, we can use okay, this is the list. Then mapping function is there, map function, and these must be integer and input, then dot separate. Okay. For in range. Okay. Range R.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So actually, I have a doubt. So actually, previously when we used the input function, you wrote something in the double quote or single quote, right? Enter the number as well. But then you wrote only empty parenthesis. So what is the difference between the two?
You are asking in this example.
Yes, sir. Input function where there is an empty parenthesis.
Okay, when we have the empty, okay, if you will assign any value, this is the fixer, okay. But now we are entering here randomly. Okay, we can have any value of I. If you will give any particular value, that is the fixer. Okay, we are not able to change. We are using here input function. Okay. So when this will be empty, we can give any value to I according to the index. See once again this example. Okay, so first I have to write this array, and for the array I can use values 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5 space 6 space 7 space 8 space 9 and space 10. Okay, so these are the values for this array. We have array is generated. Now it is again asking enter the value. Okay, this is asking about the second input. Okay, we have the index from 0 to 9 because we have 10 numbers. Okay, we can give any value 0 to 10, and I is index here. If you will input the value at the place, that is the fixed value. So the value which we want to we want to enter, that can be any value. Okay, from 0 to 9. Okay, so if you will fix this one, suppose I do here. Okay, then how I can do enter address space? Because the value, there is no value which I can put here. I fix this value. That's why we have to keep it empty. Here we will put the value 2 or 3. Okay, so this is the value of I. Then again, I means this element. Okay, if I'm using a 2, it means third element. And this is third element. Okay, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, 2 means third element. And now I want to update this value. Okay, I can have any value. I can replace this element by any value. It's my choice, not the fixed value. It's my choice now. I can enter any value. Suppose I'm entering here 25 and see at the place of 3, now I have is 25. If, as you are saying, again see 1 space 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. If I do here, suppose that 3. Okay. If I am entering here 2, 6, see what happened. And 45. Okay. This is start from the very beginning. Okay, so actually we were using input function. So we have to keep this empty. Okay, so we have the, I was discussing about 2D array, right? 2D array. So R and C both are, if you are required, if you are using 2, so then we are not required to write this part. Only you can put here R is equal to or C equal to 3. So we are not required to use input function. Okay, see this example. Okay, and C is also we are using for input function. So that's why we have to keep empty. Now data is equal to list map int input dot split and for in the range R. Range R E. Okay. Now print np dot array data. Okay. So control and end. Shall not execute due to the pending input. Okay. I have to restart the kernel. Yes. Now we can. So here you can see it is asking about R input. R is the number of rows. So we will take a small value. Okay. I am taking here 2 and that of C, I am taking here 3. Okay. So number of rows we have 2 and column are 3. So total element, how many elements should be there in this array? If there are 2 rows and 3 column, 6 element. Okay. So we can take first 6 integer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 1 minute. 2, 3. Data map. R is there. C is there. Uh, and just 1 minute. Why one system shut down? Just 1 minute, please. I have to restart. And please wait. My system is. I am going to start. My system is opening. Yes. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I can take new file. Okay. So we were talking about 2D array. Okay. 2D array. I have to use here. This is a new file. Import numpy s np. First control and enter. Yes, it is fine. Okay. So R is equal to, we are using here input function int, then I have input, then I have C is equal to, I can have int, this is the second input. Okay. So second I have is input, then I can have data. Data is equal to, we are using creating the list map, and here is int function comma info, then dot spread. Okay, and yes, then for in the range, in range R. Okay, then print np dot array data. Okay, data will store here at a space. So we are using here control and enter. Something is error. Did you forget parenthesis in the list? List, then I have map, comma, int, comma, input, dot spread, in a range. List, map, int, input. This is okay. Separate is also fine. For print np dot array data. Line 4. It's not defined. So here is the problem, data is equal to list, then map is okay. Int, integer, then separate for in a range R. I have first is paste. Then I have to use map function. This is the map function. Then inside the map, I have integer, int, then input function. Okay. This is the input function. Then outside for this, sorry, here I have the separate function. And this is the bracket complete. Then I have to use here for underscore in range. Okay. So yeah, it is fine. True. Then value to say is 3. Okay, here is R. Control 2, 3. Okay, so these are the two values we enter here. Then we have to provide the data range in R. Okay, and that will be map here. So 1 space 2 space 3 space 4. It is saying in the R. Then if there are 2 rows, 3 columns. Let's see. Okay, I enter my space 2, 3. Then in the range R. Okay, 1 space 2, 2 space 3. Okay. So by using this one, we have this array. We can generate by using these values. 2D array. Okay. So you can choose any row or column according to your input. Control and enter once again, 2 and here 3. If there are 3 columns, okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is fine. Okay, we have to put the value in the range. Okay, so we choose here 2 rows and 3 columns. So this is the matrix you can see. So by using the input, we can generate in this way also. If you want to access any row or column from the matrix, okay, we can do here. This is the simple example. Suppose that we have array is equal to np dot array, and to write the matrix, this is the left, this is the left and right bracket, and inside we have the first row. Okay, so 10, 20, 30. This is the first list, but first row of the matrix. Then we are taking the second list. Okay, suppose that these are 40, then I have 50 and 60. These are the element. So if you want to print array 0. So this is the array two-dimensional, control and enter. So this will assess the first row. You can see the entire first row is assessed at this place. If you are using here 1, then this is the second row. Okay, second row means second list. So to create a matrix by using NumPy, we are using multi-list here. So list of list we have is the two-dimensional vector or array we can generate here. Okay, so by using 0, when we are using here 0, the first list will be assessed, and for 1, the second will be assessed. If you need to assess second column or first column, okay, we have the same example, but if you want to assess here, you will use array, and we want to assess second column. Okay, so for that we will use here column, comma, 1, control and enter. Sorry, here is for array. To assess any element or row, we are using square bracket. Okay, this one, control and enter. Yes, so you can see this is the second column. This element and this element. This is the first row. This is the second row. Then this element and this element both are second column. Okay, so if you want to assess the second column from two-dimensional array, then we will use this operation. And for first row, for any row, we are using simply this one. So in this way, we can assess any row and any column by using this operation. Sometimes we are required to assess submatrix. Okay, for the submatrix, we have the operation array is equal to, we can take here np dot array. Okay, and inside we have left bracket and right bracket of the array, and here we have first row element. We have 1 space 2 3, these 3 elements are there. Then we have the second row, and in the second row we have 4, 5, 6. Then we have is the third row. Okay, and in the third row we have 7, 8, 9. These elements we are taking. If you want to print this array, you can do by using in this way print function. Okay, you can see here this is the matrix. Okay, and yes, then after we want to assess some matrix, print function, and here we will use array, and we want to take some matrix of this this matrix. Okay, so for that 0, 2, then comma, and 1, column. Okay, so what is the meaning of this one? These two elements which we are using here, 0, 2, these are used for row element, rows. Okay, and after comma, which you will apply, that is used for columns. So this is the second column. Okay, and these are the rows 0 to 2. 0 to 2 means first and second. See, control and enter. So yes, one, here you can see one and all. Okay, so this will start from 2, 3. The column will start from 1. 1 means second column. 1 means second column. Okay, so all the column which is starting from having the index is 1. So all the columns will be there. This element, this element. But here the rows are only 0 and 1. Sorry, 1 and 2. 0 is the index. Okay, but it will go up to 2. But keep in mind, 1 less is there. So the meaning of these two will be the rows having the index 0 and 1. Okay, so that's why this row is there. And then we have this row, 5 and 6. Okay, actually, if you are using 2, 2 means third row. Okay, third row element are not there. So always this will be 1 less when you are using in this way. Okay, so if you want to customize, see, I'm using here 0 and 2, then control and enter. See here, 0 and 1, matlab meaning first and second row. So these two row will be taken. Then see the column 0 to 2. It means first column and second column. So the element will be 1, 2 and 4, 5. So this is the sub matrix of this one. If again you will do like in this way, I take here 1, then control and enter. We have only 1 to 2 means only second row having the index 2, because here is 1 is less. Okay, or if you are 2 at the place 3, then control and enter. Okay, 3 means 2. So second row element. 3 means the index is 2. Index is 2. Okay, so that's why 7, 8 element are also there. So what you need to play with these numbers and observe what is happening by changing these values. Okay, but keep in mind 1 less, and here is also 1 less, and this one is index, this one is also index. 1 means second row, 0 means first column. Okay, so understand these operations and will help you to write to assess the submatrix of the given matrix. Got the idea how you can use them? Okay, so you can use, we use here like in this way. After that, you can manage all these things. You can manipulate them. Okay. Yes. Now we have 1 and all means 1 means for, second row, second column, sorry. Okay, second and all. So this element, but row is 1, 2, 3, second and third. So this is the second and this is the third. Now we have the reshape function. Okay, so for the reshape, we can use with the help of index also. I'm using here shift and enter. Yes, reshape function. Here we reshape matrix. Okay, matrix or array. We are using for array. How we can do? we can use this statement. Array is equal to array is equal to np dot array. Then we have is the list, and in the list as we use in the previous example, but this is the new file I don't have now. Map and int, then comma input. Okay, sorry. I have the input, int comma input, this one. Then here is a separate function. Okay, and control and enter. Okay. Yes, this will work. R is equal to, I am using here integer and then input function. C is equal to, I have integer and then input function. Okay. And then after print array dot reshape. R comma C. Okay. So the difference is that when we will give when we have any array. Okay, suppose in the array we have 12 element. So according to our input number of rows and number of column. So 12 can be paired as a multiple, just like 2 into 6, 6 into 2, 3 into 4, 4 into 3, 1 into 12, 12 into 1. These are the factors. Okay. So according to that, we can apply the values of R and C. This will automatically, by using reshape function, will generate. Just like you can see here, control and enter. I am entering here the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 10, 11, and 12. These are the 12 values. Now I need to put here the value of R. Suppose that I'm using the value of R is 4, then I have to choose the value of C 3. So you can see here a reshape of this array according to our input values. Okay, but we have to check the factors of the element. Okay, there are 12, then we have to check what are the possible factors for these numbers. And according to that, we have to assign the value of R and C. Then we have the flatten. Flatten function we have used earlier, just the same example we can give here. This will convert all the rows in the single array. Okay. I think in yesterday's lecture, you find the same example, just like np.array. Okay. And here we have any matrix. Suppose that I have a very simple example, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then in the second row, I have this element 4, 5, 6. These are the element. First row and second row. Then we can use the flat function. Print. And inside the print, we are using array dot flatten. This is the flatten. Okay. So when you will use this flatten function, control and enter, you can see The first row and second row are in the single array. So this is the of operation flatten, which will convert the two-dimensional into one dimension. Then we have the resize and transpose. Transpose is also very quite simple. If you will, we can take this example. Same example we are using here. If you are using a print array, okay, control and enter. And if you are using print array dot t, okay, so by using this t operation, this is the transpose matrix we can use for transpose. Rows will be into column. Okay, so this is the original matrix you can see here, two-dimensional, and this is the transpose. So the rows will be in the column. The first row you can see in the first column, second row is the second column. So this is the transpose matrix. And for the resize, we can use a resize operation, just like, okay, we can take one more example, control and shift and enter. Here is, we can use this operation. I copy and paste here. Then after array dot resize function, we are using here resize function. So resize, we can give any value. Suppose that I am choosing here 2,3. So 2,3 means there must be 6 element. Okay, and then print. Sorry. Okay, I am using here 1 space 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Print array. Sorry. Control and enter. Yes, you can see. So I have this element, but I use here 2,3. Okay, so I can cut this command. I can use here. Okay, again, you can check here, control and enter. If I'm using here 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. These are 5 elements, one more required, 17. Okay, control and enter. So you can see these elements are divided into this ratio, this is size. Okay, this is the array and this is two-dimensional. So 2 rows and 3 columns you can customize, just like if I am using here 6 and 1. Control and enter. I have to use here 1 space 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is now in column. You can see.
No.
Yes. Got the idea?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, what is the difference between resize function and reshape function?
If you are given any array and you want to resize according to rows and column, okay. So in this array, we choose here 6 element. Okay, so 6 element possible factors are 1 by 6, 6 by 1, 2 by 3, 3 by 2. So these are the pairs which we can use as base to resize this one-dimensional array into two-dimensional or one-dimensional. Okay, so here you can see we are using one dimensional, but when we enter, this is the row vector. But now, if you are using a 6 by 1, then it is column vector. If you are using here 2 and then 3, so this will be size, resize will be, here the size of this array is 1 by 6. Okay, but here the same size, same element, we don't have the new element, only the element are same, but we resize this array. Okay, see, again, I'm using the same example. If I'm entering here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but here I use the command, I assign the instruction 2 by 3. So the order of this new array will be 2 by 3, 2 rows and 3 columns. Sorry, I have to enter. I have to enter. See now, the same element, same length, number of elements are same. Here is the size is 1 by 6, but after applying this one resize function, we have 2 by 3. Okay, so you were asking the other function?
Reshape function.
Reshape and resize both have the same output. Okay, here also we have just like we are assigning the number of rows and the number of columns. Okay, so this will reshape. This is the one dimensional here. Okay, and you see when we are using here 4 and 3, 4 rows and 3 columns. So here you can see we have 4 rows are there and 3 columns are there. Okay, so reshape and resize both have same output. There is no difference.
Okay, so
Okay, so these are the examples which we are need to apply, and sometimes these examples which we discuss for linear algebra will help you in the data science. Okay, so many times whenever we have the large data set, sometimes we have to choose any row or any column. Sometimes we are required which variables are important for us. Okay, sometimes the entire data set is not useful. Okay, so sometimes we are required to assess if we have the size of the data set is 10 by 5 variable and 10 rows are there. Okay, so suppose that we are required only 3 variables are important for our study. So we have to assess only these 3 variables. So these operations will help you to understand how we are using, how we are assessing this element from the given data set or from the data frame. Okay, so when we will use for the real data set and models we are required to develop, we have to skip or we have to choose the subset of the given data set. So all these operations which we apply for the one-dimensional array or two-dimensional array, all this will help you in the data frame when you have a real data set. Okay, so these are the applications for machine learning, deep learning, statistical analysis, for developing the any prediction model, recommendation model depend upon the variables, data set size, their nature. Okay, so when we are plotting the data set, sometimes when you will study with the help of correlation, okay, which variables are more effective. If there is no relation between one or two variable, we can drop these variable. Okay, so all these are the necessary part for machine learning or deep learning, data analytics, data science. Okay, so slowly we are developing our fundamentals, and when we will cover all these the libraries, then after we will start to implement on real data set. Okay, here we are taking the simple examples. We are generating our own data set. Okay, so these are the some interesting operations. I hope these operations will help you in the coming sessions. But the thing is, the content which I am sharing with you, you must try to manipulate them, play with the code, how these operations are happening, how we can use the libraries, how you are using the operations. Okay, so all the operations which you can see here, NP is the NumPy library. So we are using only the abbreviation. Similarly, pandas, we use PD only. Okay, and in the coming sessions, we are going to cover matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So we use only PLT. And if we are using Seaborn, okay, so in the case of Seaborn library, we will use only SNS. Okay, so we have to keep in mind, just like name of the libraries and how we are using the libraries. And also you have to keep in mind the operations. Okay, here you can see np.array. So array is the function of np. Similarly, we have to use this, like if we yesterday you got to some trigonometry functions and the inbuilt functions in the NumPy. Okay, but these are the operations which are concerned with slicing, reshaping, okay, indexing. So this part we cover in this session. And I hope that by using input function specifically. And I hope that I also let you know yesterday also these functions were there in the file. But here we make some changes and some advanced functions are there. With the help of input function, we try to use here so that all type of the applications which are required for our study, you can be familiar how you can use these functions. So dear participant, this is all about the today's session. And if you have any question, you can ask from me. If no question, we can. Okay. Yes, we can close the. Dear face, we can conclude the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no question.
As we conclude today's session, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Meher Chand for today's insightful introduction to NumPy. Today's session marked an important milestone in our learning journey as we explored the fundamentals of NumPy, understood the advantages of array over Python lists, and discovered why it is the foundation of numerical computing in Python. I encourage everyone to practice creating and manipulating arrays and revisit today's example. A strong grasp will make it much easier to work with more advanced libraries such as Pandas and Skitlearn in the upcoming sessions. I would also like to thank all participants for your active participation, thoughtful questions, and continued enthusiasm throughout today's session. Your engagement continues to make this training program interactive and meaningful. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a wonderful night, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session.
Okay, thanks to all and good night. I have shared the content in the WhatsApp group. You can access from that place. Okay, good night. Good night, everyone. And tomorrow we will resume the meeting at the same time.